Hey, John Daysus, your data guide here, and today we're going to look at Scikit-Plot, a library that allows you to conveniently plot your ML metrics with a single line of code. Before we get started, just two things I want to say. One, I'm assuming you're familiar with ML metrics such as ROC, precision, and recall, since you're going to see some of those. And two, I'm not going to be as detailed about the code, since the main focus of this tutorial is to showcase Scikit-Plot's benefits. Otherwise, let's get started. So the dataset we're using for today's tutorial is the absenteeism at work dataset, which is a dataset of the employees and their information at a Brazilian courier company. And the classes we're going to look at is a column to indicate if the disciplinary action that was taken by the company to correct these employees' absenteeism was successful or not. A couple of quick imports. Again, for the documentation, you're going to import Scikit-Plot as so. And you're going to import matplotlib definitely also, since Scikit-Plot is built on top of matplotlib. Otherwise, of course, we're going to load the data, check the first couple of rows, check the info, just so you see visually the classes. Disciplinary failure, again, 0 is success if the disciplinary action that they took was successful, and 1 if it failed. And I'm going to let you know right now, one of the reasons why our model is not going to look so great is because the classes, as you see, are completely very imbalanced. One other thing to mention, I'm not doing any EDA or feature engineering for this model, again, because the point of this tutorial is to showcase Scikit-Plot. But of course, when you're building an ML model, you want to be doing feature engineering, EDA, feature selection, so that your model is successful. Otherwise, creating a feature matrix really quick. The column for our classes, train, test, split, random, forest, again, just being random, just so I can make this corny joke, sort of. And then, of course, make the predictions. And lastly, the beauty of it all, Scikit-Plot's convenience of with a single line of code with convenient inputs of y test and y spread, the predictions that we made, we get all this information in a fairly nice detailed plot. Okay, again, of course, it's not going to look great because, again, we didn't do much in terms of feature engineering, EDA, and we had imbalanced classes. Now, comparing this to the example from Scikit-Learn's documentation on this, they have to go through all of this code just to get the ROC curve set up and get the right variables together to showcase all this, and then all of this code just to plot the figure that's down here. Again, as opposed to Scikit-Plot, we just get one single line to do all that and more, actually. Just another example, doing the same thing with precision. Again, single line of code, same convenient inputs, and we're all set. Again, of course, this isn't that great to look at because, again, since the data is imbalanced, one of our recall curves is going to be really bad. But again, if you're actually building your own model, these are the type of Scikit-Plots you'd see until you got to the improvement you wanted. Just to give a clustering example also, again, let's say you're plotting the elbow curve for k-means. Again, you got to set a list here, initialize k-means for each cluster, fit the data, append all the sums that you get for each cluster instance to your list, and then all the details here. And you do all that, and you don't even get, honestly, that great a plot. Granted, you're doing EDA, so you're not always going to showcase this to stakeholders, but for someone else or like a coworker who'd be looking at this code, you want something a little more visually appealing and a little more easier to read. And again, with Scikit-Plot, aside from just setting the one instance of k-means and fitting the data, with a single line of code, we get a much better plot with some clear markers for each cluster occurrence, and we get some extra information with the clustering duration also. And I take that deal. And then lastly, just to showcase this one more, another visual plot to evaluate your clusters, which is called a silhouette plot. Again, Scikit-Plot has this also, conveniently enough. Single line of code, just the data that you're clustering and the cluster results that you got itself. Otherwise, enough listening to me. You should go out, if you got some models of your own, and actually use Scikit-Plot on them so you can actually practice using it. Again, it's really easy to use. Otherwise, again, I hope the takeaway that you got from this was that Scikit-Plot makes it really convenient to plot your ML metrics, so you don't have to fiddle through the details of getting your plots right just to show this information. If you want some more information, which I definitely recommend you check out, you can go to GitHub, so you can see more examples. And the documentation, which obviously, of course, includes more examples, and documentation is just really well written to show how to use each of these plots. Otherwise, thanks for taking the time to watching. I appreciate it. If you like what you saw, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to get in touch with me, you can check out any of the links below to do that. Otherwise, thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.